So hello Tina, welcome to Desi Martini. This is Mahima. How are you doing?
Hi, Mahima. I'm doing very well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. It's a pleasure to have you here, especially right
Thank
after watching the trailer of Mumbai Diaries 2611.
Yay, thank you. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I got goosebumps right after watching it. I actually wanted to
Yeah.
ask you, how did your friends and family react to it?
I haven't had the chance to talk to anyone. I have been filming here in well a very remote part of the country, so I don't have the best network. But I'm waiting for actually to get off these interviews and actually speak to people and ask them how they're reacting to it.
Okay, so I'll have to tell you then, social media is going crazy because it actually left us with goosebumps. Okay, so tell us something about your character.
My title is Ananya Ghosh. I'm the F&B banquet manager of Palace Hotel, where senior doctors are being felicitated when this tragedy strikes. And so she's even though she's really young, she's in her late 20s, she's having to take charge of a room full of senior, very experienced doctors, much older, twice her age, and she's having to like tell them what to do and kind of take control, be the main guy in the room, and while simultaneously dealing with her husband, who's dealing with the incoming bodies and injuries at the Bombay hospital. And they have a slightly fractured relationship. So she has a lot going on in one night. And I thought that was a really interesting character for me to play.
Okay, so Mohit Rana is playing your on-screen husband, is that right?
Yes.
So tell us something about his character from your perspective as Ananya.
He's someone who's extremely dedicated to his job. He kind of bends the rules to get the job done. He doesn't go through it by textbook. He kind of adapts to the situation, because what's most paramount is to save the life. Not to, even though it might seem a little gray. His technique of doing it, I mean, with limited resources. But he's so dedicated to his job, all the other things in his life kind of blur. And so, me being the wife who wants a proper married life is not getting that. And so, that seems to have a sort of impact on her relationship with him. But he's just someone who's a star doctor, and he revels in that fame. The crooked star doctor, and he revels in that fame.
Okay, wonderful. So clearly your character has a lot of shades. She's a wife, and she's also like a really successful young woman. And then there's this attack going on. Then there are some problems in her personal life. It must have been a very challenging character. How did you prepare for it?
Nikhil gave me a lot of information. First, he's someone who's extremely good at doing stuff that's dark and gritty and very hard hitting. The script had a lot of meat in it. So a lot of the information, a lot of the direction that I got from it was already there. I was also told to read a few books which had extra detailing on the incident from all perspectives, from the government, from the people, from the guests at the hotel, from people on the streets, everything. So it had a more than what we saw in the news. There was extra detailing that I got from there. Plus, there were also YouTube interviews of people from the hotel, because that was my angle, who were giving their experiences of how it was for themselves, for the guests, how it was for them after the incident. So there was a lot of information that I had access to. Luckily, we live in a world now where information is easy to access. So I was able to eat all of that up and enjoy and my prep process.
Wow, wonderful. Okay, so now the series takes us back to that horrible night when all the attacks happened in Mumbai in the year 2008. I really want to ask you, where were you when it actually happened, and how did you learn about the whole thing?
I was in Bangalore. I was watching all of it on TV. Of course, when things like this happen, information spreads quickly, messages come. And so we put the TV on by around 11:30. I can't remember the exact time. 9/11 happened, but we didn't think such a thing would ever, repeat in any part of the world. And then it did. And in such a strong city in India, and also in multiple places. It didn't just happen in one place. And also the rumors that were spreading were so many. It was like thrice the number of actual locations that we were hearing of. So I was terrified because my sister was in the city and we didn't know what to say to her, to stay indoors, to go out, because there were attacks happening outdoors, there were attacks happening indoors. So where do you go? So we were terrified for her because we weren't even in the city to protect her, to give her advice. What do you, it was horrible. It was very scary. Yeah, but mainly we watched it Uncover on TV, and my sister just stayed put wherever she was and didn't move until about 2 days.
So all of these memories must have come rushing back when you got the project.
Well, my angle was from Taj, so was from the Palace Hotel. But I mean, I think everything of it was spine chilling. You know, when you listen to anyone's accounts of it, be it the Chabad House or be it the Trident, or even now when you go to the Trident Hotel, they've got that red piano symbolic of the blood spilt on that night. It's horrible. Even now when I go to Marine Drive, I'm afraid to like stand on Marine Drive for a long time, on the sea face, because I'm like, you feel so exposed. So yeah, when I did approach the character, I liked the fact that she was the hero in the story. She was actually looking after people. She was protecting people. She was saving lives, which, and without a second's doubt or fear or selfishness of, trying to protect herself or saving her life. She was right there, worrying about her guests first. And so I thought that was a really amazing sort of mindset and yeah, so I jumped into it with this, we need more such people, who are so selfless and brave.
So how much do you relate to this character?
I always like strong people. I do not like the ones who feel victimized, the ones who need protecting. I love the ones who are front and center and who are there to, who stand by any sort of challenge and like rise to the situation. I love those sort of characters. So I was very happy to get something like that.
So will we get to see a little bit of Tina in Ananya?
I think there's always a little bit of Tina in every character, because it's always your perspective, your imagination, your interpretation. Of course, there's also the director's input, but it's always something that you bring your personality, your experiences, your understanding of too. So there's always a bit of you in every character you play.
Great. Okay, so how did this show come your way?
I have a very lovely agency called Bling, who fixed up a meeting with Nikhil. I've known Nikhil for a few years, but this is the first time we worked together. And he's just the most darling director to work with. I mean, it's just, he just gives you access to a lot of information. There's a lot of trust that he has in you. And even his shooting style, he shoots everything so quickly that you can get into the zone and you don't have to try and struggle to maintain it, because before you know it, he's already captured it. And so it stays fresh, it stays real. You don't have to worry about continuity because, it's already in the cans quickly. And then also, there's so much clarity that he has within that, those little details that he gives you add so much dimension to a scene. And he sets it up in such a way that you're able to jump into it quite easily, and so he makes your process easy, really enjoyable. I mean, I loved it. That was a pleasure because it's such intense scenes. You know what I mean? It's not something that you can do for a prolonged period of time, and so he orchestrates in such a fashion that it becomes quite organic.
Okay, so Tina, you've been in the industry for almost a decade now. And during all of this time, you have been beautifully balancing your Hollywood career along with your Bollywood career. I really want to ask you, how do you strike that balance? That's it.
Thank you. I don't know, I've always planned to work as a child. I always wanted to work in the movie industry, but I never thought about anything in the West. That's just something that came along. And when that did, I decided I should, I strongly believe in fate. And so I just stopped planning things because I was like, things that I never imagined have happened to me. So now I kind of just go with the flow, whatever comes my way, I try to make the best of it. And it's just worked out this way so far. And I hope it continues to, go this way because I love working in both industries. It's a fabulous mix of culture and scripts, and it opens your world and your mind up to so many things. I get my culture, so that's something that I'm able to understand and portray more easily. That's a different world, but that opens up my mind. So I love the balance. It's made my personality a lot more dynamic, let's say.
But doesn't it get a little too hectic? Like living these two lives?
That's a great thing. Between a choice of being jobless and too busy, I choose too busy.
Wow, love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think your international projects, in any way, the success of your international projects have helped you bag more Bollywood projects? Like your web series Sense8, it became really successful. You were one of the lead characters in it. Did it help you? Like, did it help you bag more offers in India?
I think there's definitely a sort of respect that's attached to it because someone takes you seriously. Also, I think I've tried to choose projects where I contribute significantly to the script. You know, I'm not just a random character. So yeah, I think there's always that edge because there's always some amount of mystery and attraction attached to having that extra industry or the access to an extra industry. But luckily, I think I've always chosen projects that I'm able to connect with as well. So I mean, I think it's all somehow working out. I can't really explain it, but it's all working out great.
As long as it's working out great, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't try to analyze it too much, so long as it's all going well.
Yeah, it's better just to go with it when it's going good.
Yeah, like I was just, this is not something that you can plan. There are so many things. There are so many things at work in this universe, and I'm like, just go with it and enjoy the ride, so long as there's growth happening all along.
Great way of looking at it.
Thank you.
Okay, so any other more international project that we can look forward to?
No, not at the moment, but
great. So before I
really
take your leave,
because when you're testing for things, you're not just testing. There are usually it's there's so much focus on diversity that I'm usually competing with Latinas, with blacks, with other Asians. So if it's not a white person, there's a whole lot of other people that they could cast. So it's very challenging, but it's also that much more rewarding when you do get cast.
Wonderful. Okay, so before I take your leave, I just have one more question. This is about another project of yours, another upcoming project of yours, Bob Biswas. Is there anything you can tell us about your character?
No, I'm so sorry. There's a 100% secrecy thing that's attached to that, so I can't say anything.
It's okay. We'll just wait for it.
Thank you. Please do. Thank you.
Till then, we are going to watch you in Mumbai Diaries 2611. Thank you so much for this wonderful chat. I'm really looking forward to seeing you on screen.
I love everything that you had to say about the show, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Enjoy. Thank you. Bye to you too.